we don't know what the next one's gonna be. Your contract is a 1-year contract.
Yes.
So it ends in
Is it like
June of,
Okay, I was gonna
of
say June.
2024. Janet probably would know. Janet probably should educating you on this, because Janet calls me with questions from time to time. But anyway, so the point is, it will end in June. We are in the market now looking for prices. I mean,
Okay.
you know, electricity seasonally goes like this, and my job is to build what's called a load factor. And that's, you know, when people buy power, how much they buy, and then graph it for the utilities. And what they do is determine how they're gonna price based on the projected load. And I send them a bunch of data, summary data and detailed data. And so for 2 months a year, it's very, very busy, very intense. I'm sounding intense now. But the point is, they look at that and that's how they gauge. They have trading desks, and that's how they gauge how much they're gonna buy and how much they hedge the power that they're gonna buy. And we've been buying in 1-year contracts, because typically what'll happen is, when we're buying it in a 3-year contract, we're buying a rollover contract that starts out at a certain price, it'll go down to a certain price, and then with hedging, it'll, you know, they'll be guaranteed at least a ceiling. So
Yeah.
if it goes more, they'll be buying at less price, less cost in that period. Anyway, that gets a little too complicated, but that's what the trading desk looks like at Homefield or Constellation or First Energy or Energy Harbor, you know, Mid-American. Those are the 5 I use. And so we're in the market now, looking for the best time to be in the market. We start with the idea that people cool and heat homes. We want to look at the temperatures. We want to look at a period of time where temperatures are 65 degrees or right in that area, because that's a no heating, no cooling period.
Yeah.
No demand means lower price. At least that's what it meant. Who knows what it means today?
That's true.
So anyway, just to let you know, that's what happened, and that's where we are today. I think I mentioned to Mayor that our job is to do what is best for you, and I can tell you, we've never, I mean, I feel comfortable in telling you that in our 12 years of doing this business, we've never suggested something that doesn't work to the benefit of our clients. I mean, our loyalties are to you, not to the utilities. We like the utilities, but we have absolutely nothing to do with them. They have no ownership in us, but they, you know, they like the contracts. When we put you, we have you assumption with about 16 or 17 other towns, and there's a large number of kilowatt hours, and they bid those contracts. And typically we'll take a bid, and if we see bids within 1% or 2 of one another, we'll be on the phone with both of them saying, you're in the hunt, but sharpen your pencil. We don't tell them what the bid is or whether they have the winning bid or who has it. And it's entirely up to them whether they want to do it or not. But typically they'll do it because these are great contracts, and we know that. So anyway, we are in the market now. We're looking, and I've got indicative pricing coming from Homefield sometime this week.
Okay.
Homefield is your supplier now.
Yes.
They're a very good supplier. I like them a lot. When we were on the competitive side, well above Ameren, Homefield made a proposal which we accepted, and I know it's very tough for Mayor to try to understand that, but you did take the risk.
We did take the risk, because I can
Yes.
remember you calling, because there was a time frame.
Yes.
There was like maybe an hour or something. I remember our conversation. Yeah.
And what it is, you know, there are all kinds of things in a rate, and I won't go through it all, but the 3 main ones are transmission. That's the line that basically $250,000 a mile for a 345,000 volt line. That's the transmission cost. That's in the rate that we pay. Right now it's about 2 cents a kilowatt hour. That's 2 cents of what we're paying as transmission. There's the energy component, which is the fuel and the operation, not the plant, but the operation cost. And then there's the capacity charge that I've been talking about. So those are the 3 main ones. There are a lot of ancillary charges, very small ones. But so all those things add up to a rate that the utility is going to answer my bid for. And so we try to get a rate at a time when there's less usage, and so that's the reason we're in the market now. But what Homefield did for us last time, they suggested that we separate capacity from energy, from the other 2 components, and we allowed that. That's what the mayor I don't want to say bought into, because it's a very forward-thinking
Thinking,
part of
yes.
part of the rate. Because what it says is we're going to lock into transmission. We know what that cost is, absolutely, and we're going to lock into energy, which we pretty well can project.
Predict.
What we
Yeah.
don't know is capacity. So Homefield suggested, and we got all our mayors to buy into this, of the group you're in. We'll lock those two and then see what capacity ends up being. Capacity's bid in the open market twice a year, April, and it's announced in June, and that's when we heard about
the
yeah.
others. Yeah.
And then the next time they'll do it is in December. So Homefield made that suggestion. We, both of us agreed, Homefield and us agreed that capacity is gonna run around 3 cents a kilowatt hour, because it went down to from $2.66 to $1.50 per megawatt day. It ended up being like 30 cents or so. So it was a great win
For everybody.
for everybody. And it's dollar for dollar. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, there's no margin for me, no margin for the utility on that. So it worked out exceedingly well. And 86 cents, when we got 8.66 cents for assumption, the market was like at 13 and 14 cents. This was back in February.
Yeah.
And we thought we had a great deal. And then we get the news in June, which, let's see, that's about the time I think your contract started, June of 2023. Then we get the word in June that Ameren's rate is going to be 8.1 cents. So, you know, all the work we did with all kinds of reasons, you know, degree days are one thing, but we also look at that capacity issue.
Yes.
And we look particularly at energy, and we monitor natural gas very closely, because through all of our years, all of my experience, which is like, I started in the electric business, excuse me, in 1979, and electricity and natural gas are like this. If you looked at a sheet of music, you'd see harmony all the way along. A few years ago, because of all the gas that was found, it reversed. You know, instead of gas being on top, gas was on the bottom. So the result was we watched that very closely, and just give you one example. Liquefied natural gas takes about 15% of the natural gas production in this country each year. Last March, a year ago, March, the liquefied natural gas plant in Fremont, Texas blew up. There was a huge explosion. It was offline. Gas prices plummeted. And my partner's in New York City. He's a brilliant financier and economist. So we both said, this is going to be wonderful for us, you know, for our customers. Because when that demand goes down and gas prices fell down to like $1.70 per MMBTU, normally, and that's probably a term you don't understand, but forgive me, normally gas price will be $6 or $7 per MMBTU. So we saw that drop. And then in this last March, the company at Fremont applied to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission to start that liquefied natural gas plant again. And we said, perfect. We're in exactly the right moment, because we buy low price gas. And when that plant comes back on, the demand will increase and cost of the energy component will go up. And so everything was pointing to exactly the right time in the market. Nothing happened. Fremont comes back on, nothing happened. Gas prices today are about $3, which, you know, they've doubled, but for us we who understand that normally $6 or $7 per MMBTU, the $3 is kind of okay, you know, we're not breathing quite as lightly as we did.
Exactly. Well,
So,
I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were coming. I really did. So.
Oh, well, did I make that appointment with you, Janet? We didn't talk, Derek?
We didn't talk. You sent me the notice on that, you know, that our rates have gone down.
Okay.
There was somebody. I mean, there was another lady that did respond,
Yeah.
but I think you did she did like a reply all. I hope you didn't get the wrong town.
No, I do have another town coming up in
Okay.
a couple days, but no, I've got Meet Assumption Council Mayor Derek Page and the City Council, 229 North Chestnut Street tonight. I mean, I'm getting old. Maybe I dreamed it up.
That is okay.
It's kind of weird because we don't have city council.
Yeah, our council meetings are always the
Actually,
first Wednesday.
It was last Wednesday.
Yeah, last Wednesday.
Okay.
First Wednesday of the month.
Yeah.
But no, I appreciate you coming over here.
I mean, I made a council.
You talked to half of us.
You would not want to have been here last Wednesday.
Yeah, last Wednesday we did garbage.
Okay.
You know, yes, we can only handle
Well-
one energy one utility crisis at a time.
Well, anyway, thank you for
Yes.
the time, and you know, as I say, I work for you, and thanks for Janet. Janet called me
Yeah.
once in a while, and she
Mhm.
gets questions from people, and she'll call me.
Yeah,
and that's
we
what we
do.
want.
Yes.
The number I have in that news release is the
Mhm.
number I would suggest if you get questions from your constituents. If you feel comfortable, answer them. If you don't, just send them to that number, because I've got several 100,000 people that I have to deal with, and I can't handle all
Yeah.
those calls. So, but there is a toll-free number. Your contract does require we require through our contracts,
Mhm.
a customer care center from every utility. So
Oh.
they're set specifically to answer assumptions questions. So, but again, we work for you, and I want you to call me. I mean, the city council members, feel free. Janet's kind to call me when she has a question. I
Yes,
want
she
you to
is.
feel the same, so.
Well, thank
So
you.
anyway, well, hopefully we'll be back in touch. I hope
Yes.
we're not recommending another hiatus. I mean, the idea is to provide a good, strong,
Good strong service. Yeah.
fixed rate for
Mhm.
people that works. So, okay, well, thank you, and my apologies. I don't, you know.
That's okay. I thought it was kind of weird you come into a police meeting. But I thought, hey, whatever.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thanks again,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I enjoyed the meeting, by the way.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
fun for me. Take care, everybody.
You too.
Okay.
Uh-huh. I have nothing else.
Anything else? Let's make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Yeah.